God bless you all. Let's go lick the world. Let's get it done.
And then you got Joe Biden who's having a hard time standing up. Take a look at that one. I want you to tell me that you think he is cognitively strong enough to lead this country against China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, and a new axis of evil, and that he's the guy. He cannot articulate the economy the way you just did.
Yeah, but I don't think he's...
Bruh, Hannity is wild for this. Hannity is so wild for this. Yo, Hannity been taking a lot of heat lately, but he definitely earned back some points with this one right here, because this man just made the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, woke Gavin Newsom, who promised black people reparations. Okay, he said, look, we about to spend some taxpayer money studying reparations. Okay, they're gonna recommend that we give you reparations, right? Just so we can get your vote. And then I'm going to turn around and tell you Negroes that you ain't getting it. Right? That Gavin Newsom, okay? Sean Hannity is making Gavin Newsom sit through a compilation of Biden mentally struggling, okay? Because remember, Democrats are deflecting, right? They're saying that Joe Biden is perfectly fine. There's nothing cognitively wrong with Joe Biden. Okay, he has no issues upstairs. Okay, this is what they tell us. So Hannity again rolls out the footage doing this interview with Gavin Newsom. It is probably one of the most base things that I've ever seen in television journalism. Okay, Fox News, Republicans should definitely take notes of stuff like this. Do more of this. Okay, show the Democrats just how much of a clown party they are, because that's what they are at this point. So I want to react to this. I want to react to it. But before I get into it, I just want to let you guys know, if you like my channel, you want to support my channel, you can check out my new merch. For example, like my blacked out edition of my signature racist mug, which has the 2023 definition of racist according to the Democrats and the left, which is anybody that disagrees with them. So you can check it out. It has my logo on it. You can get it at gforemanbcp.com. Use discount code TEAMBCP for 20% off. Without further ado, let's get it.
Won't acknowledge COVID's relationship to inflation globally. And by the way, COVID and immigration impacting our inflation.
Let me stop you. All right, so I would assume you're going to give Biden an A. Here's the problem that Joe Biden has. You're arguing, you're fighting, you're battling, you're articulate. We could sit here for 3 hours, probably have a beer or two in the middle of this, and you can keep going. Here's the problem. Your president can't have this conversation. He's not capable of it. Now my question is a serious one.
All right.
Okay, is Joe Biden up to the job of being president? And as a little reminder, take a look at your president in the monitor.
And there's an awful lot of stories that are told, probably a bunch apocryphal about the former prime minister. Like you take baths up that, anyway.
Wandering around at 3 in the morning. Yeah, Winston Churchill.
By the way, I met with, who are those guys that fly over shortly? You heard of them, haven't you? And the cheer for we cheer for Muslim athletes like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I know him, and I did mispronounce his name. So I'm trying to think, where was the last place I was? It's hard to keep track. I mean, yeah, you're right, Ireland. That's where it was. EIGH%. He said, you're too much like that guy who led the revolution, instead of the guy who was the prime minister. He said, you got to be less like the military guy. They shot him. God bless you all. Let's go lick the world. Let's get it done.
And then you got...
Yo, Hannity is wild as F for this, bro. He is wild AF for making Gavin Newsom watch that, bro. But here's the thing. It's funny because this is a legitimate question, right? Democrats told us this is a legitimate question. because they have no issues asking Republicans, Republican candidates for president. Gavin Newsom is not a Democratic candidate for president yet, right? He claims he's not going to run. Biden's their guy, but clearly this is who the Democrats want to run, right? They want this guy to run. But anyways, they told us when it comes to Trump and his indictments, oh, well, does this disqualify him from being president, right? Should the GOP nominate Trump because of this, right? As if voters shouldn't have a choice, as is not up to the voters to decide according to the media, right? It's up for them to decide, okay? And for the weaponized Department of Justice, right? It's funny how that works because they want to say that that's totally fine. But when it comes to asking about Biden's mental state, they say, no, that's not for you to decide, right? That's for the voters to decide. That's out of bounds, right? You're being ageist against Biden for asking questions. Again, it's just funny how that works.
Joe Biden is having a hard time standing up. Take a look at that one. Standing up. Take a look at that one.
Oh my God.
I want you to tell me that you think he is cognitively strong enough to lead this country against.
Is this dude baked? Yo, is Gavin Newsom baked, bro? Like, look at his eyes, dog.
China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, and a new axis of evil, and that he's the guy. He cannot articulate the economy the way you just did.
Yeah, but I don't think he's capable. I know he's capable. I see results. I've seen a masterclass in results the last few years. You don't see the results on the CHIPS Act. You don't see the results on the infrastructure. You had infrastructure week every week for 4 years.
We're still importing them all from Taiwan, which is about to be taken over by China.
We had $4 billion proof point just here in California with Applied Materials, bringing semiconductor investment back here in the state of California. My point being,
we're going to talk about
real results, but bipartisan results.
Yeah, this guy is high, right? This guy been smoking too much California weed and probably been with too many California 304s too, right? But I'm just saying, I do think if you're going to point out something in the Biden administration that's probably positive, I would say that that's probably a net positive, okay? However, I think that the rest of what the Biden administration has done has been terrible, okay? Whether it be his Lifestyle Reduction Act, okay, or what they like to call the Inflation Reduction Act that did not reduce inflation, him overspending on the stimulus, okay, continuing to keep the economy closed, the country closed for much longer than we should have, okay, him also not being aware of interest rate risk, okay, and doing more to prevent these banks from collapsing because of rising interest rates that had to rise really fast because the Biden administration spent so much money. The border has been an absolute disaster. He assigned Kamala Harris to be the border czar. She has been an absolute disaster. Alejandro Mayorkas has been an absolute disaster. Again, domestically, Biden is an absolute disaster. Internationally, Biden is an absolute disaster, okay, because he's an embarrassment on the world stage. Look at what happened to Afghanistan. Saudi Arabia, they don't respect us. China does not respect us. Russia does not respect us. Putin decided to invade Ukraine because Biden is a weakling. He knew that he can get away with it under Biden. In fact, he knew he could get away with invading some other country under every president except Trump, right? Again, he did it under Bush, he did it under Obama, he did it under Biden, but didn't do it under Trump. I don't think that's a coincidence, right? I don't think that is a coincidence. It says something about the man that's in office, okay? What our enemies are willing to do and what they're not willing to do. Under Trump, they effed around and found out. Asked General Soleimani from Iran. Trump clapped him and threw up the American flag like it was the set. Okay? I'm just saying, Trump infinitely better than Biden. Biden is an absolute disaster. I don't care how you square it. He's done some things here and there that, yes, are good. Okay, the CHIPS Act, I will give him credit on that. I could give him credit on the infrastructure bill, but I really don't know yet. We really don't know because, I mean, they haven't started the major infrastructure project. So we're not going to know if that was actually effective or not until down the road. But all those wins are basically bipartisan wins. They're bipartisan wins. So, you know, a lot remains to be seen, but I think as of right now, you could probably say Joe Biden has had one of the worst administrations in American history. And look at his approval rating, right? It's one of the worst in American history.
Real results, jobs programs. The IRA, I know you don't like it. I mean, hundreds of billions of dollars in green energy investment, mostly in red states. You're the biggest beneficiary of the IRA.
He raised taxes on oil, gas, coal, pensions, and, quote, taxes corporations. Corporations don't pay taxes. They pass the cost on to consumers. That's all they do. You know that.
On the issue of energy independence, I think it was your second of the list of items.
Do you think he's cognitively strong enough to be president?
I have conversations with him all the time, yes. And I'll tell you what.
You do?
I'm dead serious about that. I've talked to him when he's been overseas. I've been in Air Force One, Marine One. I've been in the limo with him. I've spent time with him privately.
Okay, but you never answered
publicly.
my question directly. How many times does your phone ping a day, people saying you need to get in this race because they agree with me that he's not up to the job?
I see where you're going with that. Sean.
I'm asking.
No, and I'm not answering.
Under any circumstances would you get in this primary?
No.
None.
I really am proud. I think he's a man of decency and character. I'm really proud of the president. I'm proud of what he's accomplished.
Is he strong enough to be president? That's what I'm
strong enough.
talking
Look
about.
what he just did to McCarthy. He ran circles. Look at the vote card.
I didn't like the vote. I wouldn't have voted for it.
Exactly. Kevin got played by the president of the United States.
Hey, that's true. Low key. That's true. Look at the vote totals for the debt ceiling bill. That's what they're talking about. 165 Democrats voted for it, and 149 Republicans voted for it. Republicans have a majority in the House. More Democrats with less members voted for Kevin McCarthy's debt ceiling / spending deal with Biden than Republicans. That tells you that Kevin McCarthy had a lot more room to negotiate. He had a lot more room to negotiate and get more out of that deal than what he got. Democrats were bluffing the whole time, right? They were bluffing. Waited to the last minute and said, Kevin, do you got the cojones to let this country default? And Biden know he didn't have it, right? Biden know he didn't have it. So he cut a deal with McCarthy that, honestly, again, kind of works out in the Democrats' favor. So, yeah, I mean, the Democrats know. Gavin Newsom just said out loud, yeah, Kevin McCarthy got played. He got taken to the House. Kevin not looking so hot with me right now. He not looking so hot with me. I'm keeping it 100 with you. And I gave him a real shot, right? I always knew he was a snake. But I said, okay, I'm going to give a snake a chance, right? Trump endorsed him. The Freedom Caucus ended up voting for him with concessions, okay? Allegedly, they have a leash on him, okay? How hard they tug on that leash remains to be seen. But I was open-minded to giving Kevin McCarthy a chance to prove he's not a snake. Hasn't done a great job so far. Not looking as good as he was at the beginning of all this. But, I mean, hey, that's to be expected.
I'm for results. I don't
think the American people benefit.
Yeah, so this guy definitely is high, right? Gavin Newsom is high. If he has spoken with Joe Biden on the phone and didn't think one time in his head that, you know, I'm not sure if this guy is cognitively up to the task of being president of the United States. He is smoking too much California weed, okay? I'm just saying. He needs to lay off of it, okay? And open up his eyes and realize that Biden is definitely not it, okay? And endorsing him and getting behind him, despite how terrible his approval rating is probably not a good idea. It's probably not a good idea. And keep it 100 with you. Gavin Newsom probably should run. Right? If I'm Democrats, I'm telling this man to get in the race because Biden, I mean, a whole nother year, he's not going to be able to speak on stage. He's not going to be able to debate anybody. It's going to be a bloodbath. And Democrats don't want that. This man does not have the energy to campaign again. I'm just saying, Democrats better put somebody up, man. They better put somebody up. Or maybe they don't feel the need to because for some reason, Democrats feel like they got it in the bag for 2024. But we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.